Alright everybody, welcome back to the KSR YouTube channel. And this is current, like post-surgery. And yeah, I am at the shop. Not doing any work, so nobody freak out too much. I am a week out from surgery. And I'm supposed to be up like walking around and, you know, not just laying in bed all the time. And it's getting kind of bored at the house. So decided to come down and check out what's going on at the shop, as well as pick up some parts to take over to Will's house that are for SoccerMom. Sick week is coming up in a hurry, and we have a lot of things to still get done on SoccerMom. Yeah, you guys kind of saw a little bit of the preview on the previous SoccerMom video, but at least now we have even more parts for the car. So I'm going to go in and grab those. Well, I'm going to be responsible and not be the one that picks them up, because I'm not supposed to be lifting anything more than like a gallon of milk for, I think the doctor said, like another 2 weeks. So basically 3 weeks beyond the surgery. So trying to be responsible there, but definitely still very tender and kind of just gonna take it easy walking in the shop, be in a little bit of slow motion. Gotta do little tricks like not tie my shoes, so I don't have to, you know, I can just slip in them like slippers. Anyways, let's get inside the shop and see what's going on. All right, well, there's some stuff there, which some of that is and some of that isn't for SoccerMom. Let's see what everybody's doing.
Hey, no, you are not healthy enough to be back here.
I'm not working. I am healthy enough to walk.
I know you, and you're gonna be like, let me see what the guys are doing, and then crawl up on something.
I already told you guys, I'm not doing anything but walking around the shop.
I'm
so
gonna keep an eye on you.
Yeah. So it's probably similar to what it looked like before, just more stuff welded.
Yeah, pretty much. A bunch of little detailed stuff done.
Oh yeah, I see the
brackets are welded.
The gussets for the upper anti-roll bar.
Those are welded. I'm working on reaming those out right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I welded this bar, welded the actual.
Ooh, look at that
bars
wishbone.
in there.
That wishbone is cool.
It is
Like,
good.
A few people said that it was too tight for grease in the comments.
Yeah.
So we may have to like cut a channel in it or something. I was thinking,
Or just
grind a flat spot on it maybe. See, we do pay attention to the comments. You know, trying to keep some of you guys have some really good ideas, because in no way do I think that we know everything. We have our way of doing things that seems to work pretty well, but we can always learn more. That'd be word of advice for y'all today. But yeah, chipping along on Spencer's car. Ooh, I can't talk too loud even. Ooh, look at that anti-roll bar.
She beef.
She is beefy. So they're fully welded anti-roll bar that TRZ sells, the double tube one that doesn't even have a tube as big as this one, they call the Girth Brooks, because that's just an awesome name for a part. But this one, I don't even know if this one has a cool name yet, but it will be coming out soon on TRZ Motorsports website. We can help you get anything TRZ Motorsports related. If I haven't said that enough, well, falling over.
What are you doing now? What are you doing? I called it.
Apparently I can't even squat down and sit up all right. But yeah, the KSR Race Parts site is doing awesome. You guys have been buying up some of our used stuff and new stuff, and we're trying to expand more of that to bring you guys more and more stuff to help you out with your projects. And it helps us, you know, whenever we can do things to sell parts. That's you know, kind of what the guys in the office, that's what their job is, to, you know, try and bring in income for the shop, because YouTube doesn't pay all the bills. I know for some people it does, But for us, the shop is still priority, at least until we get where we're totally blown out and making things happen. So, like you saw in the last video, looking for a chassis for this. I might have found one. Might be a video even about going to get it. But we'll have to see if that all works out. But let's see what else we got going on before I bail out of here. Y'all got hot side done, you just welding it?
Yeah, it's torn off right now, but we got both pipes done.
Oh yeah.
Had to machine that flange out a little bit.
So when we use 2 1/4 inch hot side pipe, we squish the pipe down to a rectangle so that it fits inside of directly inside of the T6 flange, and it's like a divided inlet. All right, let's go see what kind of parts we've got over here to take back to Will's house for SoccerMom. All right, well, just a quick video of the boxes before we head to Will's house. But new Circle D converter. That thing is supposed to be a game changer. We'll see what that's all about. This one doesn't have any logos on the box, but it is a Delta Pag fan. And it's a little breezy out here, so hopefully the microphone's working good. But we are super excited to be working with gear vendors, because now we can run a more aggressive gear in SoccerMom and still go drag race it for, we can still drag race it for sick week. But then while we're driving down the road, we can flick a little toggle switch, and then we are in warp speed on the interstates. Last year we were stuck going 55 miles an hour on the interstate, and we're still overheating and problems, and it was not a great time for Will and I, and we are going to avoid that this year. So let's go over to Will's house, get this stuff unboxed, and then let you know what the rest of the plan is. All right, well, we're back at Will's with the ferocious guard dogs.
Yeah, ferocious guard dog. Come on.
You can tell that one's prissy. The way she flicks her little tail around, she prissy.
Come on. Come on, Ripley.
Oh, animals are fun. Which, I don't know if I've shown you guys my cat that I got at the house, but she's named Turbo. She's a cool kitty. Actually a rescue from, golly, that's bright. Rescue from the first shop that we were at. But, all right, we're gonna back the truck in and show you guys some goodies. All right, so we cheated since I'm not supposed to be lifting things. We backed the truck all the way in, trapped the dogs inside the house. I guess I'll just have to let you even pull it all out, because
That's perfectly fine.
I'm just not supposed to be doing nothing, am I?
Nope. Don't need to re-injure.
Gear vendors. You want to just unbox it right here?
Good.
See what all we got. He said he sent some extra switches and stuff that I've got to call him about, but
Okay.
we'll see how all that's going to go. And I think they probably send a, here, there's stuff in there.
So while you're all laid up, you can read how to, of course you've already installed a couple
Yeah,
of these,
so you could flip this over and then maybe stand it up and then just lift the box off of it. Like flip this, pick it up and flip this under.
Under.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, now slide it back and then tip that part up. Bada bing, bada boom. It's still wet, something's wedged in there.
Yeah, there's something heavy in there, so don't want to drop it.
Huh. Well, this looks like that's probably the unit, and then that's probably the tail shaft. Yeah, the mounting flange.
This is pretty heavy.
Let's add some more weight to SoccerMom.
Oh, she gonna be a pig.
She's gonna be 3,200 pounds by the time we get to this track again.
Probably gonna
Whoa.
be. I'll tell you what, those doors.
Instructions.
Doors are heavy.
Yeah, I remember helping you get the door down before surgery, and yeah.
They were heavy. Looks like I got a box cutter.
I can pick this up. This is light. I can handle that. And styrofoam, I can pick that up. Nice and light. Ugh. Oh, old and busted. Yeah. Just sliding. Not picking up anything, just sliding. Alright, well there's our new tail shaft and speedo adapter, which we don't need since we use the thing. So these are in the instructions. There's a you will take that out and
take it out now.
Yeah, there's an adapter sleeve that I don't know if it's already on the end of it. Overdrive in a box, and we can still have the strength of our really strong Fiberglide. So down here there's an adapter sleeve. Goes over the input shaft here and over the output shaft of the transmission, and these little discs go on the tail of the trans, I believe, so that you can set like the proper in clearance and everything, and then this seal goes around the outside of it. Self tappers, ooh, we'll pretend we didn't see those.
We're gonna have to do some serious forces here.
Oh, you hadn't cut out the overdrive or the drive shaft loop yet?
I started on it today until I ran out of cutting disc.
Uh-oh. Okay, there's
But we can put it in there and I'll show you what.
There's the tail shaft, or the yoke, which I don't think we're gonna use. We'll just get a new yoke. Already called PST to get us in line for a drive shaft. So that's good. Okay, I told him we didn't have the shifter that worked with that, but he sent it anyways. And
more wiring.
Yep. So they do offer really neat stuff like this, which we are not going to need because our shifter does not have the bolt-on side grip like that. But we might just use this piece. And this is like a latching unit or something, so maybe it's already on there, that piece I'm thinking of, like the...
You can bag it?
Yeah, sure. Good.
You got the bag out, already, brother.
Shoot, I need to turn the radio down.
I can't hear it.
Alrighty, well, that piece is not there. May have to call
Is that off center?
Rick.
Is that supposed to be off center like that?
This is in the center. So this part is off because it's got to do its little dangly thing. Maybe it's inside of this thing. Hold on 1 second. Alright, Will's going up in the back to show you what's in the way for the overdrive. And I'm opening up our fan. And I've been wanting to get one of these for a while. Because this joker moves a lot of air. Alright. Yeah, so here is our new fan. And this single 18-inch fan, and I saw the test at PRI show where they had the display set up and everything, and just freestanding in open air, it moves over 4,000 CFM. One fan, one 18-inch fan. Our old fan, nowhere close to that. And this thing, what it does, which is why it's going to work with our 16 volt, this is a conversion box from DC back to AC. And it's 3-phase. You see how we got 3 power wires running down to here. It's 3-phase power for the fan. And it's like super duper high voltage at the fan. And all we have to do is connect to our wires here. They'll plug into the wiring that's already at the bottom of the car. And then with one of these 2 smaller wires, one's a ground and one is a PWM positive from the Holley, we'll actually be able to pulse modulate the fan so that it comes on at, say, half speed at 165 degrees. And then by the time it gets to 210 degrees, it's full blast to try and cool the thing back down and then maybe eventually turn the fan off. And by having the Holley program it, the Holley control it, we'll be able to turn it off at speed and all kinds of nifty stuff. But so back at the last round of updates for SoccerMom, old Mr. Kevin decided to super duper weld this drive shaft loop in. I mean, like, I sent her home. I mean, all up in there. Tied it out to the subframe connectors real nice. It's fit to where it's basically welded across the end of the subframe, all there, and then comes up here, and I mean, full send. But that's right in the way of the overdrive unit. Modify one thing, you gotta modify 12 others, and we're modifying a lot of things right before sick week. I can only laugh because, yeah, that's the way things go. So
there's actually a frame inside a frame.
Oh, cool.
So I tried to cut that out, and I'm like,
sturdy.
why can't I get this out? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so I was thinking if we cut this right in the middle of the weld, we can get the loop out. And I mean, possibly reuse the loop, but if we don't, or if we can't, that's okay too.
Yeah, that was my plan, but then I ran out of the 4.5-inch disc. I gotta go get some left for work tomorrow.
I've got a 6 or 7-inch disc too that you might need for, I mean, maybe it'll work, but
I think the 4.5, because that's what I used it, you know, to cut that up there.
Yeah.
Because I think looking at,
may have to come in, and it might be something where you even just skim it. So you're already thinking like this is all got to come out.
yeah, which I was going to throw this cross member up here real quick. I think we could probably get a really good idea quickly.
Well, you could put some, actually what you could do is, you're upside down.
Shoot.
I think.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So we could put a couple of nuts on the thing, and then, I mean, I can't help you pick it up, but you could set the mount on top of there and we could like teeter it, or actually probably can't because this is in the way right now, but we could at least get some kind of rough idea. But
Yeah, I need
race cars. Race cars are fun.
I'm trying to
T-shirt. winwithksr.com.
I'm just trying to do the best time management as I can. Yeah. You know, of course, I'm not as fast and as efficient as I need to be either.
So possibly still changing the gear, even though if we shifted on the overdrive, we could use that gear. If we shifted on the overdrive during the pass, and SoccerMom is basically, I'm gonna sit down here a little bit. So SoccerMom is fairly close to the power at which they rate these gear vendors for being able to survive the power and the weight, because those are both factors of whether or not you can actually shift the unit under full power. I did on mullet several times and things were working great, and then I made a mistake in the programming that I think led to the destruction of the unit on mullet. Basically, I had the arm and disarm function for the overdrive all wired through the Holley. I had it set to lock and unlock at 150 miles per hour. So the problem with that is, and maybe you're already ahead of me here, if there's any kind of bounce in the drive shaft speed trace, well, that little bit of bounce as you approach 150 miles an hour, you might hit 150 and then it dips down a little bit. So it locked, unlocked, locked, and just blew up the overdrive unit. No fault of the unit itself, but that's just a good example of how not to wire one of these things. And I was being all smart and cool and doing it through the Holly with all kinds of nifty different modes for it on the street and when it was activating and stuff. But yeah, it ended up causing us more grief than what it's worth. And what might have happened if I'd been smarter with that back then? Always be learning, like I said earlier in the video. But had I been smart enough to not program it like that, maybe it would have never broken, because that's really, when you look back on things, that's kind of when lost the handle on mullet, because the gear ratio kind of affects how hard the tires get planted, which threw all my shock settings out of whack, and took me a while to even get back kind of on the right track to making the car work again. So we're trying to keep as much gear in the back of this car as we can, which would be awesome if we still could keep the overdrive and use the overdrive on the racetrack. So let's see what Will's doing. Got her?
Yep. It actually goes this way.
That makes sense. Come to the driver's side a little bit. Driver's side. Bada bing, bada boom. Hey, looky there. Line's right up. Get her that way. It's funny how, like, not quite perfectly parallel.
Just enough of a tip or tweak in it.
Just
Well, I'm like looking at it and I'm like, you know, this is sitting back farther than what I thought it was going to sit back. But yeah, we're probably going to have to cut the whole floor out.
Holy moly.
Or these notches anyway.
That's a whole lot of largeness right there. Especially because the shaft in this car is set fairly flat, and you guys can see the angle that she's tilted right now. And she's already hitting. Well,
Anyway, I don't have to really start it.
yeah, it's already on the
It's already touching.
already on the floor. Well, it's on this bolt right here. This, I guess that maybe is a nutsert.
Probably not cert to the shifter, I'm guessing.
We're not welded to the floor on the shifter?
Well, probably an old nutsert. Yeah, the shifter I think's welded, but it's probably old.
Yeah, it gets, it doesn't get much larger from the flange, but
the floor gets smaller.
yeah, it still has to tilt a decent amount. So yeah, that is definitely gonna have to go, and then we'll probably have a spot right here where we cut it and just fold some sheet metal over it and do a thing. Well, to be continued on that project. Let's go look at our other box. All right, last piece of the puzzle is our Circle D converter. These guys have some new things that they're doing with like computational fluid dynamics, sciencey voodoo things that make the converter work really well. So the Lawn Dart got one, and I was super impressed with how that worked there. Been seeing a lot of other guys make the switch on the internet. So we have jumped in. It's got our name on her down there. I'm gonna pull this bad boy out since I can't pick her up.
Yep.
Always wanted a bolt together converter, and we got a bolt together billet converter for SoccerMom. Or at least it's a billet back half. So fancy. It's 252 millimeters. And yeah, we can now adjust and clean our torque converter. So that's kind of exciting. And
A lot of bolts. A lot of bolts.
it is a lot of bolts. And I know there's really the biggest advantage to, like, you don't have to have a bolt together converter. Like, that's not a necessity by any means. But when you're trying to figure out a new combination, it sure makes it nice to be able to have that adjustability in it. And since SoccerMom sees several different weight combinations, as well as, well, the 2 different engines, which you guys haven't seen the other engine yet. But by having the bolt together deal, basically we will be able to take this apart, swap the stator in it, and it will be for the lightweight combination with the smaller engine, and that way we don't have to have a different converter for the different combinations. Like the front half and the back half are the same, and then the piece that makes all the magic happen, the stator in there, where the fluid is turned and directed from one side to the other, and all that sciencey stuff. Like, that's kind of the reason why we did the bolt together deal. So we're going to test this just as it is, the heavier combination and the larger engine. Oh, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. That is what this converter is designed for. And then when we go back to this lightweight combination to try and poke the 5.3 in the 6s, because I mean, now we've got, oh no we don't, I can't say that yet, but that's still a goal, is to put that 5.3 into the 6s. That's one of my goals anyways. So hopefully this will get us there. These things are supposed to be incredibly efficient, and we actually saw that on the lawn dart on the dyno, which you guys haven't seen that video yet, but on the dyno at lower power than what the converter was really designed for, the converter oversped the input shaft of the transmission to where it was actually spinning the drive shaft faster than it was spinning, faster than the engine was spinning. Talk about some weirdness. Like when I first saw it, I messaged my buddy Pete at Circle D. I'm like, what in the world is this thing doing? And he said, yeah, it's not really going to do that on the track when you start putting the big power through it, but on the dyno, when you're not fully using the converter with the power that it's designed for, you do sometimes see that. But I also noticed it at part throttle on the lawn dart when we were cruising at 60, 70 miles an hour. The thing actually had like 1.5 to 2% overdrive on the drive shaft. Cool stuff. See how it reacts to SoccerMom, or we'll see how this converter reacts in SoccerMom, and it'll be exciting stuff to follow along with, and we will show you guys all of that data when we get SoccerMom on the dyno, as well as hopefully when we get this thing fired up, because we got some late nights coming quick. Going to be a bunch of SoccerMom content coming, as well as me possibly trying to go get that other G-body for my project. Yeah, I need to clone myself about 5 times. I wish that was a thing. No, I don't. There's enough Kevins in the world. Anyways, appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. Thank you all for following along, and thank you for all of the well wishes and concern for me and my surgery. I think we're doing pretty good. So I'm actually about to load back up and head out of here. Will's got a dinner date with his wife, and we'll see you guys next time.